Welcome back, everybody, from the summer. I'm Roberto Cabrera with Brown Harris Stevens here in Manhattan, where I've specialized for 27 years, and this is your monthly market report. So the market's simmering. There's a lot happening under the surface. In some ways, it seems that everyone's waiting for 2026, though some, perhaps the savvy ones, are wading in. And there's so many factors to weigh. But if you've been following along with me, you know that for me, it's all about the rates. Will we see lower long-term rates or not? The thinking right now and the tendency or the trend for innumerable reasons is that they will inevitably drop. One major reason is that Trump wants them to. And he does have some influence. By next spring, he will have nominated new members to the Fed committee, including the chairmanship. And it's seemingly obvious that they'll be on board with his reduction plan. The issue is this. If the Fed lowers rates, it is not a foregone conclusion that longer-term mortgage rates will follow. But why? Because the Fed only controls short-term rates. The financial markets determine the longer-term rates. And if investors don't believe that a rate drop by the Fed is justified, and in this case because of tariffs and inflation risk, the markets, they'll do their work and they'll compensate for that disbelief. Look at this chart. Pay close attention to the divergence of the curves starting in September of 2024. It's rare, but just 1 year ago, in the fall of 2024, when the Fed dropped short-term rates by 0.75 percentage point, and the longer-term rates actually jumped in a seemingly reactionary fashion. It's counterintuitive, yes, but with inflation still hot, the markets took over. They were feeling that the cuts were unjustified, and as mentioned, they compensated by letting the longer rates rise. Now, typically when the economy is under less pressure without tariff risks and potential inflation, the curves tend to move more in tandem. But the marketplace, it's like a wave. It's uncontrollable, and policy is merely a strategy to surf that wave and try to manage it. So if you look at this chart, take a look. Although rates have indeed eased since early 2024, the public conflict right now regarding the direction is where are rates actually going? And it's the conflict between the Trump administration and the Fed. One economist called this moment monetary stability versus fiscal convenience. Wrap your head around that. Yeah, that's a lot to unpack. And I mean, to understand why Trump actually really does want to drop the rates and why the Fed is actually more cautious. But that's for another time. So, in short, if rates are indeed headed downward, they'll unleash substantial demand, which has been corralled for years. When this happens, FOMO ensues, and everyone will be wanting to get in. And don't forget, the great wealth transfer, which most estimates say is $100 trillion of wealth. Yes, that's T, trillion, will transfer from prior generations by 2048. And that transfer has already begun. And much of that wealth is expected to be earmarked to purchase real estate. So as far as where we are sellers at that point of saturation where they're tired of waiting and they just want to list? Or will they hold on further until 2026? Will buyers throw in the towel and dump that wasteful rental and place their faith in lower rates? Things are simmering below where it's visible. The flavor of the market is changing, and it's a good time. It's not too hot, because when it is, think about it, you get burnt. Once buyers conceptually digest that they have more leverage than sellers hope they would, they'll also realize that this could be the last fleeting moment of real value before the market actually accelerates away from them. So get ahead of it. And, well, let's go shopping. See you next time.